Okay, so step 2 in this week's process is to find the money in your business. Now, my belief is that every business has hidden treasures. So there is something that you're not seeing right now, something that you're not offering people that could make you a heap more money than you're currently making. Okay, so for some of you, that might be to sell some products that are downloadable, so to sell some information that is downloadable that you can charge a certain amount for. Or for some of you, you might be losing money because you're not packaging your service or your product correctly, and so forth. So this is all about finding the money. The first thing you need to do to find the money in your business is to crunch some numbers. Okay, so you need to sit down and think about your products or services. So if you're a product-based business, you need to take your average sale. Okay, say for example, your average sale is about $150 in a product-based business. Now, you have your goal of what you want to turn over during the year. So now you need to obviously work out how many sales you actually have to make that kind of turnover from your product that you're selling. Okay. And the first thing you need to establish is that something that is actually doable? Do you have the time, the money, and the resources to make that many sales? For some of you, you will actually arrive at the sad conclusion that with the product that you have and with the costs you're incurring, the numbers don't add up. In which case, well, you have to rethink. You might have to rethink the product that you're selling altogether. You might have to find a way of packaging it up in a way that you can make a lot more money on it, or you might have to sell it to a different target market who are able and willing to spend more money for it than you're currently getting. Okay, so that's one of the things that you might want to do when you're in a product-based business. Now, if you're in a service-based business, the same applies. So if you're a counselor, for example, and you're charging £50 for an hour's work with you, once you work out how many hours you actually have to spend working with people to make the kind of turnover that you desire, you're probably going to find out pretty quickly that it's hard to almost impossible to do that, because in these coaching and counseling based businesses, you're going to be spending a lot of time on getting the clients in the first place, and you have to factor that in, right? So for some of you, it'll be around finding ways to offer your service in a different way that offers more value to people, but that helps you save some time. Okay, so that's finding the money in your business, crunching the numbers and getting really clear around what it is that you have to do to be able to make up the numbers that you have set yourself as a goal. Now, the first thing you need to work on is, do you have a signature product or service, or what's your main product that you want to sell? And get really clear about that. Then one of the questions you want to ask yourself is, what could you do to make it worth double from what you're charging now? Okay, so for example, if you're a coach and you're currently selling a package with 6 one-on-one sessions, and you're selling it for and the session works out at, say, $100 per hour. Okay, so you would be selling this package at $600, right? Now, there are ways to make this package a heap more valuable to your clients if you add certain things. Now, the things you can add could be group sessions, for example. So this would mean that you can spend time with several people at once, which would obviously save you time, right? So you could also add things like books or ebooks, checklists. You could add an online-based program to it as well. And all of these things would make your product more valuable to your customer or client. And you could probably charge double or even treble for what you're charging right now. So the question for you to think about is, what could you do to make your product or service worth double from what you're charging now? Thirdly, it's a big question, but how does your product or service make people feel right now? It's really so important. There's really one of my favorite quotes is that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And inside of this week's program, there is a video that I did about me receiving my business card from a company that I love, and they're Moo. They're a print company, and they're absolutely awesome. So you will see in this video that getting my product from these people got me so excited. And I tell you now, I have never been so excited in my life to receive my business cards. Okay, my business cards and other marketing material. It was absolutely phenomenal. I made 2 videos about this, and I was just super duper excited. Okay, so how can you achieve this for yourself and your product, that it arrives at people's houses, or you deliver your service and it makes people feel great? Something that's really powerful, and that we need to work on during the program, so that you get to a point where people will not buy from anybody else but you, just because of the way you make them feel. Finally, what you need to consider is, what are the real benefits and what are they worth to people? So whatever it is that you're selling, what problem is that going to solve for your customer or client? And what is it really worth to people? Okay, so if you can solve somebody's confidence problem, which will help them go out and become a public speaker, for example, and help them promote their business in that way, well, that's worth thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to them, right? So what it's worth to them must simply be reflected in what you charge. Okay, so that's the 4th thing I need you to think about when you think about finding the money in your business this week. If you have any questions, any problems, this is what we're going to be talking about in Q&A at the end of the week. And obviously you can also talk to me about this in your one-on-one session this week if you have any problems around this. Okay, that was step 2.